So my name's Yvonne Sisley, for anybody that doesn't know. I started at Arts Forward as the administrator in September and have just been working my way through community organizations, finding out who does what. So probably about 3-4 weeks ago, I got talking with Brenda and just about an event, and it just twigged with me that we're looking at partnerships and stuff, and Brenda is where we're in, and just different things that we can do as a community and different things we can do as organizations to help each other out. So this kind of I was talking to Nicola in Maryland, and we talked about the idea of having a meeting like this. We know that there's community calendar on the town webpage, but I think even the town will admit it's not the greatest.
Nobody uses it.
And it's not the easiest, it's not the most accessible either, or user-friendly. So we were kind of throwing around ideas, and Lisa Adams came up with a brilliant idea, which is what I'm going with. Yeah, so we wanted to get all the organizations together and just kind of get everybody's input. If you guys want to go around, maybe we'll start at Amanda, if you can just introduce yourself and what organization you're with.
Which one? So I'm Amanda Nightingale. I'm the Community Ministries Director at the Salvation Army. That is my day job. I'm also the president of the Nicola Club as well.
I'm Brittany Christian, the Executive Director of the Place Community Foundation.
Larry Chapman, I'm here representing the Margaret Lawrence Home Board.
I'm Brenda Ferguson, and I'm kind of tag along with Claire, and here also on behalf of a couple other groups that I'm involved with.
Which are?
Nicole Gill, and Garden Club, and I forget what else.
Brenda's got a list.
She's got a list.
Brenda, can you put the little field info, did you put that in that second page too?
No, but I can.
That would be awesome. Right here.
I'm Debbie Unger. I'm the branch supervisor at the Nicola Library, and we do lots of children's programming and other things for adults as well. But it's usually just Monday to Friday.
I'm Ron Nordstrom, and I'm here tonight for Kaleidoscope.
I'm Lisa Davey, and I'm here just observing.
Ken Liddell, publisher, Nicola Banner and Press.
Ken Pearson, coach, general manager, Nicola Titans.
Dave Bennett, NACTV video tonight.
My name's Rylan Friesen. I am co-pastor with my wife at Prairie Lions Church in town, so that's why I'm here.
Brad Murray. There was some interest in a photography club maybe starting up, so that's why I came here, but I looked around and realized there's nobody representing Men's Shed here, and I kind of got a hand in that.
Glenda McPhee, I'm here with the Garden Club or Horticultural Society.
I'm Brown, and I'm here with Latent Tourism.
I'm Barb Bone, and I'm here on behalf of Nicola Tourism as well.
I'm Dawn Birch, and I'm with Ron on Kaleidoscope also.
I'm Lisa Adams, and I'm with Kaleidoscope as well, but I'm just here just seeing what I can do to help.
Deborah Casper, kind of here observing, but also on behalf of Pilot, just to see.
I'm Lindsay DeHollis, and I'm the Director of Operations at the Yellow Center.
I mean, Nicole Cooper, and Director of Recreation Services for the Taffy Block.
So I don't know if everybody's got some stuff that they would like to talk about. We were thinking of giving each organization about 5 minutes if they want to talk about what they have up and coming. If you guys are open to that and you want to, you can. I can start if. So we've got lots on the go with Arts Forward, lots of different programming coming up. We're looking at some partnerships throughout the summer. Some of the big stuff that we're looking at, we're looking to partner with Farmery Brewery and talk with Margaret Lawrence Home and possibly the museum in doing some tours and bringing out, I see one of his head pops up. There's tours that come through town quite often. Clear Lake will have shuttle bug tours come down. Being a tour guide at Farmery previously, just the different tours that would come into town that I don't think a lot of the organizations realize come into town. And they'll usually do 2 stops. If they do Farmery, sometimes they'll do Margaret Lawrence Home, or they'll just do Margaret Lawrence Home. So it was to try and tie in some of the other organizations and what we have in town. So it's kind of what I've been working on, but then we have all of our regular programming as well, kids classes, art classes. We did. Glenda did an amazing Gordon Birdhouse class today, so yeah. So.
Do you want questions or?
Yeah, if anybody.
Shut them up if not, I'll go. I just have regular programming, swimming, day camps as well. The 2 main things that I want to focus on tonight, just to kind of throw out there for everybody, is number 1, Canada Day. So our events will be starting at 3 this year and going till roughly 7 for most of them, and then till 9 for live entertainment, family bonfire, and then ending with the fireworks. I am totally open to anybody that wants to do anything. Like if you want to fundraise and have a booth, or if you want to put on an activity or anything, just let me know. There's tons of space down at Riverbend, and I can help you advertise or like coordinate, do anything. Even if you have suggestions, I know I pretty much plan the day myself, so it's based on what I've seen other communities or what I see people want. So not all the times I get the feedback of like what people actually want, like what do seniors want on that day, what do teenagers want. So it'd be nice if anybody had any input or your organization wanted to do anything, just let me know. The second one, I'm the chair of the Chamber Board, Fair Board for this year. So the fair is at the end of May. That's another big event for Nicola, 3 days. So if anybody has anything they want to do up at the egg grounds or even around Nicola that weekend, we are putting out our brochure to print next week. So if you wanted to quickly plan something and have it advertised for free, like we print out brochures and do posters all around communities, so we can help advertise for you. There's some groups that are doing like fundraising events the weekend of, so we'll just add that in our brochure and kind of just give them a little bit more promotion and adds to the weekend. So if you have any ideas for any of those, I'm more than willing. Yeah, the more things that are happening, the better, and just want stuff for like all age ranges and interests.
Well, I know, so Canada Day, we've got an art series that's going to be Saturdays here with Megan Peters, and the last class is a full day class where the kids are going to be they're going to go through town, they're going to find stuff for art, and then they're going to do up whatever they want to, whether it be rocks or whatever they're going to do, and then we're going to actually make it part of a family scavenger hunt to start Canada Day down at Riverbend. So, yeah. And we're doing a karaoke during the chamber fair too. So
that's all for me.
So the Salvation Army, we're doing, there's a couple of things that are coming up. We are looking at doing more programming throughout our, basically throughout the months and throughout the weeks. So most of that will be like small little workshops. Glenda did a great workshop for us about kind of beginners gardening and that sort of thing. Our focus mainly is on low-income individuals to help support them. However, we have space for everyone within our community. Our thrift store, of course, is always taking donations and is always available to folks within the community. We are looking at, we're doing a community consultation on May 18th here at Arts Forward from 7 to 9. And we would love to have as many people from our community come and really talk about, since we're we're a fast growing community and there's a lot of changes that are being needed in resources, availability, support for families and individuals. We've seen a 60% increase in the use of our food bank over the past year. And so we're looking at how can we provide more support and more resources to families and individuals out there beyond just a hamper every month, beyond the Christmas hampers, those sorts of things. And so we really want to hear from the community if there's a need for us to expand our services and how we as an entire community can look at what kind of resources we have or what kind of resources we're missing. And maybe that's not us to fill, but maybe that's partnerships with other people. So the more people that we have to have those conversations, the better. So that's May 18th. Please mark that on the calendar. You were very, we hope that anybody will show up. We also will be doing a survey, the talk on the 18th is a little bit more around themes and more about the community. The survey is a little bit more down and dirty about the types of things we do and how people see us at the Salvation Army here in Nicola. And so if you happen to see online a survey to do, if you could please take the 5 or 10 minutes to give us some feedback, we would much appreciate that. So that'll be out on social media links fairly soon, so please spread that as well. And the more input we have, it's not necessarily proprietary. This is things that we can share within our community. So whether that's we're sharing that with our economic development officer or our rec directors or other partners within our community to say, hey, you know, these are the resources that our community feels that we're missing. How can we build that together? And how can we partner and make sure that people are supported? On the flip side, the Nicola Kin Club, we are a service organization that has been in this community for 45, all going on 46 years. We are an all-gender club. That's why we're a kin club. We're not kinsmen or kinettes. We are kin. We are open to anybody to join us. Kin is about fun and fellowship and professional development and leadership skills. It honestly has been one of the biggest influences in my life in building my professional and personal development. And if you are interested in joining any service club, because any service club really does provide that, but there's a special place in my heart for kin. We are always looking for members. So our little member, our small but mighty group of 6 members, we just did we've done a few major things within this community. And so the biggest one that we just kind of did was at Christmas time was the Hugs for Seniors program. And that actually impacted almost 250 seniors within our community. And we couldn't have done that without the help of other volunteers and the community supporting us. But really our motto in Kin is serving the community's greatest need. And so that was definitely one of them. We had to delay our Easter egg hunt. So that is happening this upcoming Sunday. Good Lord, Mother Nature. Anyways, out at Crunchy Meadows, and we're hoping that both the seniors and the kids will actually have a good day and be able to, I don't know, dress the kids like in waterproof everything. And hopefully we'll be able to have some fun out there. And we are also doing, in the month of May, the Kin 100 Challenge. And it is in support of Cystic Fibrosis Canada, which is Kin Canada's major national partner. It's been a national partner over 50 years and has raised over $50 million in support for cystic fibrosis, which has actually helped lower the median age of life expectancy for somebody with CF. So when the partnership happened, CF patients were probably not even making their 18th birthday. They now well live past and are becoming adults and parents. And now we're starting to see CF patients into being grandparents. So within that 50 years, we've seen a major improvement in people's lives. We're also, part of this challenge, we'll be going to the Nicola Middle School playground and a new exciting project that we hope will come up, maybe with maybe a grant, but we'll see. We're hoping to have a Cycle Without Age program in Nicola, which is basically a trishaw bike So it's a 3-seater. You have room for 2 passengers and a pilot in the back. It's an electrical assisted bike. And it's a way to have people with limited mobility and seniors to get out in the fresh air and enjoy a cycle around town. And so we'll be looking for volunteers if anybody's interested in being on that board or committee.
You said electric?
It is an electric assisted bike, yes. Yes, like a rickshaw, absolutely, yeah. And so the mode of that is go slow and turn gentle, that kind of thing. And it's not a quick speed around town. It's a leisurely stroll around town. We don't
So you can take it to the trails.
Yeah, yeah, we're not going over the bumps, right? But we're really hoping that project comes to life, and so that's part of this challenge's fundraising. So for $25, you can register and we're challenging you to walk 100 kilometers within the month of May. You'll download the Strava app and we'll be part of that challenge group, and there's going to be different prizes and stuff along the way. And we've got some donations, letters and stuff out from local businesses. So for those of you who have donated towards that, we thank you. And if you're interested in donating towards it, just give myself or Marcia Forg a call for that as well. And other than that, we always have a few other little things that are coming up. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Thanks.
Well, I was the one that got involved in kin, so aren't you guys all proud of me? And yes, I will say kin totally impacts your life. At that time, it was connects for me. I'm obviously the Brenda from the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation. We have a couple projects coming up. Of course, most of you know us for grants. Yes, you'll know soon. I don't have any influence, believe me, I tried. It doesn't work. But we are going to be having a Dancing with the Stars event on February 18th, 2023. And I'm not going to tell Yvonne, but we actually found 5 ballroom dance instructors, and so can't have them until after February 18th, 2023. And we're now seeking dancers, some of which are already committed at this room. I'm so happy to see them come up for other things. So we're looking for 9 more people to participate in the Dancing with the Stars event to be dancers. How it's going to work is it is literally like the show, so imagine that. You will learn 2 dances, 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes long, and the instructors will help you with that. You will have a little, routine? Yes. I know a girl. So anyway, you'll have routine outfits, and what the concept is, it will hopefully get you partnered with a seasoned dancer and a celebrity dancer, and in Nico I feel like almost anybody can be a celebrity. So if you are a seasoned dancer, we'd really like to hear from you. And it's going to be great fun. The most important thing about it is we don't expect you to be Patrick Swayze and Babe. We just want you to come out and have good fun, and raise money for the Community Foundation so we can continue to give out great grants. And then we're going to have a golf tournament, but hence we can't say a date yet because the snow does not seem to be letting it go. And that's all I have for now.
Awesome.
Your turn.
Talking about the Margaret Lawrence Home, which remains open every summer from May long weekend till September long weekend, and welcomes guests from across the country and sometimes around the world. And our events tend to focus on something that could be for locals, for residents, although if you haven't visited the home, we'd love to see you during the summer. While our events are sort of for residents of Nicola, one of the focuses for us is fundraising, is keeping the house maintained, being able to hire staff so that we can be open to the public. So we've had a couple of years now of used book sales, and we're doing that on Saturday, May the 28th. An event that's new for us, but that we wanted to run 2 years ago and had to cancel for 2 years, is a garden party that's going to involve 4 yards. in and around Nicola with local artists setting up in each of the yards. And people will be able to go from yard to yard and take a look at some great local art and enjoy a beautiful garden. And that is Saturday, July 16th, this summer. This past fall, we had our first craft sale, about mid-October, and the date for the next one is October the 15th. Not on the scale of the great Christmas wish sale, but at the Legion. And we had a good start to that this year, and we hope that as that sort of sets in and becomes a tradition, that it will only grow. Those are the three things we have scheduled right now. Just a few weeks ago, we were able to use this facility, which worked so well for our Canada Reads event, which has been running now for 8, 9, 10 years. It's been a while, and just have a super evening, and everyone really enjoyed it. And we do that in March. So we're planning that again for March.
Yeah. Just one more, we do have, she did go by Rebecca Jenkinson, I can't think of what it is now. Carolyn Finch, sorry,
From Source.
From Source. So she will be coming early part of August to do a garden party themed book event. So we'll have more information on that once we have a date for it. And for the Tangled Threads quilt guild, we normally have a quilt show every year. This year we are fortunate enough to have it for a whole month right here at Arts Forward. So I'm not sure.
August.
Or what month is it?
August. Or no, you hadn't said a month yet.
For the month of August. So we're looking forward to that. That's it.
For the Nicola Library, we do a lot of children's programming. We do story time where we have had the Rotary Club come and volunteers from the Rotary Club come to read. And we, of course, put that on hold for the last couple of years. But we've started that again, and we'll be hopefully going with that on a regular basis. And we do summer reading club for children, trying to keep children reading and keep their literature skills up through the summer, and that's always been a really good program. It's been tough getting families to come back to the library right now, and so we're struggling to get people back, but I'm sure that once things start to level out again, we'll see more people. We do other events, we do some book launches, we do author events. We've got 2 scheduled. We've got one coming up April 27th. Gail Duchishin from Gilbert Plains is coming. Almost said Grand Prairie. Gilbert Plains, and she has, her book was actually nominated for the Manitoba First Author Award. And it's a fairly decent book. It's been doing some pretty good circulation in our library. And we have a gentleman from Minnedosa coming in May, and he's a trail runner. And so he's going to be telling us all about his adventures all around the world running trails, which is actually pretty cool. And crafting days and whatever. We have a meeting room at the back of the library. A lot of you have probably been there. But we have a really nice meeting room, and it is available to all groups. We give preference, of course, to nonprofit groups. Groups that need a place to meet. They're not charged for it. You can hold your club meetings, your organization meetings there, as long as it's a nonprofit and community-based. That meeting room is available. All we ask for is the organizer to have a library card so they can check out. So we also hold all kinds of other meetings there during the day. We've had different groups. The Eat Healthy Nicola group has been meeting there. A lot of representatives from Prairie Mountain Health will be coming and using the room. And a lot of other groups. So it's, be sure to keep the library's meeting room in mind for that kind of reading. And I would also like to see more adult programming at the library, but it's tough when we're only open from Monday to Friday, business hours. And, but, if there was opportunities to use it on the weekend for somebody to do some kind of presentation or use it for some other reason. Amanda, I was wondering too about, do you have a learning space?
Not a big one.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
so, that's an opportunity for you as well, and maybe, maybe that's something we should be working more closely on is, if you have ideas about education programs and, like the Prairie Mountain Health is going to be using it in May for their Creating Change program.
Perfect.
So, there's all kinds of opportunity there for people to use the library. And of course, we're connected to Brandon and Carberry, Glenborough and Hartney. We're part of that whole region. So we have, we can draw resources from all of those places.
All right, Kaleidoscope. For those of you who don't know, Kaleidoscope is an organization that offers 5 concerts every year. Our season generally goes from about October to about March or April, somewhere around there. And during that time, we offer 5 concerts at the Roxy Theater, maybe the Legion, sometimes at one of the churches, depending on what we need, kind of thing. We have 1 remaining concert this year. It's been a challenge during COVID to get people. Well, first of all, even be allowed to have a concert, and then when we're allowed, to get those audiences back. I think the same challenges that other groups have. Audiences are a little reluctant to come back. Our final concert of the year is this Saturday. It's at the Legion, upstairs at the Legion. And you can buy your tickets right here tonight. Yvonne will be glad to sell you.
They've actually been selling the cocktails.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's the Chris Cadoni Band, which is kind of it's a rock band. Great instrument, great guitar playing. Anyways, they're from Brandon, based out of Brandon, and it's our final concert of the year. We have 5 concerts planned for next year right now. Some of the dates are set in stone, some are approximate dates, but we've got 5 concerts set for next year as well. Their concerts are generally acts from across Canada, professional acts from across Canada. We try to get some Manitoba acts every year, but one of the secrets I'll let out of the bag is the Fitzgeralds. The Fitzgeralds are coming back. They were here a couple of years ago when they were called, what were they called? I'm not sure. The Fitz, everything fits. There we go. And it was a couple of little kids playing amazing fiddle, and their parents were with them. Well, they're all grown up now. Now there's 2 or 3 adults playing even more incredible fiddle, dancing, singing, and their parents are out of the picture right now. But it's interesting because when I saw when we had the Manitoba Showcase, they were over playing in England to a group of an audience of 3,000 or something like that, and then we're going to have them here next year to an audience of maybe 300. So that would be great if we had 300. So it's amazing to get artists of that caliber into our community. So that's what that organization does.
At a reasonable price for a ticket.
At a reasonable price, yeah.
And you don't have to travel, you don't have to buy a meal. Would you like me to sell this for you, Ron?
Also, a little plug for Rotary, because I am a Rotary member as well. Unfortunately, Amanda took the service club time allotment, but I'll tell you about one thing. And that is we have a book sale coming up as well in May, and that's why it's so important to have a community calendar, because we didn't talk to Margaret Lawrence Home, they didn't talk to us. We have a book sale in May, they have a book sale in May. It so happens that ours is first. So when we're done, now we have 8 pallets of books. We're going to arrive in the yard.
That's a really good idea.
So if you miss our sale on May 3rd, 5th, for sure, go to Margaret Lawrence Home, because we have 6 pallets of books sitting there. That's my plug for Rotary.
Do you want some? I've got overstock.
Well, you can. You're welcome.
I was intrigued by the topic tonight because it's been discussed many times. I certainly agree with the initial comment. I wouldn't be quite so harsh on the websites that you have, the calendars that you have, but it is difficult to maintain them. It's even more difficult to get people to submit the stuff.
Yes.
And for years and years and years, we did a hard copy page 2, Nicola banner, forever. And finally we were getting so much flack from people, well, that was the wrong date. Well, that's what you sent us, you know. Or how come you didn't phone us about this? Well, how come you didn't phone us to tell it? And there's no money in it, I mean, directly with that. So we quit, and it's unfortunate. It's something that should be in the local paper. However, the website ones are good. I have yet to find one that's really good. I've looked at a lot in a lot of different communities. And you go to communities all across North America, and what's on their calendar? No events planned, you know, big towns, small towns. It's work. It's work to gather the information. It's work to put it on there. I'll put on my own self-serving hat here for a minute with the paper. I've been treating with all the organizations that there are in the area, and we happen to serve many towns and small villages and whatever. Our paper circulates from north of St. Rose to south of Carberry, and from the lake to Newdale, so Langworth to Newdale. 9,500 copies, 24,000 people. I'm not sure how many homes, well, 9,700 homes, farms, and businesses through the whole area. As my offer, a standing offer to local organizations is, come and see me. We'll make a deal. Maybe it's tickets and a bit of money. Maybe it's a discount on the ad, whatever. But please, 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 don't write off the value of newspaper advertising. The advertising, it does work. If we can we can usually reach 24,000 people. Not everybody reads the paper. I get that. But some people get really excited because they've had 100 people look at their Facebook site. Well, 9,500, 24,000 is an awful lot more than 100. When we put something on Facebook that's really, really big news, we'll get 3,000 views on Facebook, and we're a newspaper. I don't know how many views people are getting on their Facebook site, and by all means, don't give up on your Facebook site. It's fantastic, but it's not the whole answer. And this is, I don't really want to sound like poor me here, but in the last 4 years in Manitoba, 20 local newspapers have shut down. They locked the door and walked away. 18 of them were corporately owned. There's only one corporately owned newspaper left in all of Western Manitoba, and that was Riverbend. It's the independent, locally owned, family-owned newspapers that are carrying on by hook or by crook. And they have to have advertising to survive. And I'm not, if it doesn't, well, I guess I will retire. It won't be any fool's joke anymore. I'm done.
You're good?
Believe it or not, I'm done.
Okay, George, moving on. Okay, so a couple things we have planned. Something new that we're going to try here in June is we're going to try a fish fry as a fundraiser for our hockey club. August the 5th, we'll be holding our golf tournament. We had one last year, first one in many years, and it was a complete sellout. It was a great day. We're just finalizing our regular season schedule. Our home opener tailgate party is tentative for September 16th, 17th weekend. November, we've been lucky to host the community sports person of the year, and when we do that, we usually give a certain percent of the proceeds to another group in town. This year, it went to the golf course, I believe, to help with the wheelchair accessibility out there. So that will be in November. January, we have our Ag Expo, the sports dinner. We give money this year, to the NACI Tigers football team for them. January is our Ag Expo, which is when we give some of our money to, we just had our Ag Expo. I know, but we have to change it because of our county.
I'm sorry.
So our Ag Expo, we give money to the golf course this year. Our cash lotto in February. March is usually our awards banquet, and hopefully this year in April we will be having a development camp for youth in the community also. So.
Vaughn, could I just add one thing? Ties in with the Titans, but ties in with all the other groups. But it is a bit of a plug for the, not only for the Titans, but the Yellowhead. The Yellowhead, the ice portion of the Yellowhead operates 200 days of the year. And the biggest crowds are for tournaments or for the Titans games, but all the clubs, figure skating and all the hockey clubs, all attract people to town. That is what I call latent tourism. So there's people coming from out of town to Nicola to watch hockey or figure skating or whatever's going on at the Yellowhead. And it's 200 days of every day there's something there bringing people to town. So no, I'm putting in a plug for what Lindsay's going to talk about too, but it's something we must not forget. The Yellowhead Center is probably the biggest tourism, if you'll allow the tourism label to be put on the Yellowhead, biggest tourism attraction that we have in the area. So just something to kind of remember.
One final thing is any groups that need help, volunteers of any sort from September to March, please contact us. Our players like to get out, and we like to have our players out in the community.
I was gonna actually say that if you haven't, with our craft sale, the week before our craft sale, I was like, what are you gonna do volunteer-wise to set up the tables? I phoned Kenny. Kenny said, yeah, no problem. I went up there within 10 minutes, the team had everything set up for us, and then Kenny had them take it down after the craft sale. That was huge for us, and he had said, like, anything that anybody needs, so definitely the type.
It doesn't matter, big, small, whatever.
I'm surprised it wasn't in the list.
It wasn't in the list.
They've always
but
done that.
Yeah, no, it was not in my list. And I was like, what are we gonna do?
That's everything for the Titans.
I'll speak for NAC TV just for a moment. We have no events planned. We cover your events, if we know about them. And we don't have a lot of volunteers to do particularly videography. So if anybody in your group has their own camera, knows how to run a camera, we'll gladly take all of your video, not all of it, of course, some of your video to make programming for us. All we really ask is that you share it with us legally so that we can claim royalties. That's how we survive. That's our biggest fundraiser, is the royalties that we get from the federal government, based on the number of hours of local programming that we can claim. And last year, we claimed 99% of all our programming as local, either filmed by us or granted to us or whatever. So we're a local station, there's no doubt about that. And we want your material on it. So please let us know about your events. We can promote your events with interviews. We'd gladly have somebody come. 10 minutes, it's all it takes. Well, maybe 10 to set up, a little 10-minute interview. We run a program called News and Views.
Only 10 minutes? What the?
If we can do a half an hour. Well, for you, 10 minutes stretches into half an hour.
You're saying she has to give her gap.
I meant that was sort of a minimum to set up for an interview.
Yeah, they cut me off.
Yeah, that's right. Let us know about your dates and events and so on, and we'll try to cover them or get you to cover them and help us. We'll loan our cameras out. We've got some more cameras, and we'll loan them out. We trained some students in McCreary. They had a grant, and Rain and I went up there and trained these two kids last summer, and they did a heritage project in McCreary of all of the heritage sites, and they talked to people, they interviewed them and everything. They did a great, wonderful job with their summer student program, and we had that on last year. So we can do lots of things like that. We also have our community announcements that are $2 a day if you'd like to be advertised and contribute a few dollars to the TV station. $2 a day, your advert runs in rotation with the rest, probably 3 times a day on average. Plus then 3 times in the middle of the night. If you didn't know, we broadcast 24 hours a day. And it's amazing the number of people really that we have found out that are on at night. We didn't expect that to happen. So that's that. I said that. News and Views I mentioned, that's the little half-hour show we have. And that's, you get it in by Wednesday, it's on Thursday that week, so it can be more, but if you do an interview of something coming up, that takes a little more time for us to process, and therefore you need to give us at least a week's lead time to do something like that. We also put a lot of our stuff up on our website. We have a YouTube channel and Facebook as well. So, and our videos that we take of you, we'll share back with you. You could put some of it on your website or YouTube channels or whatever kind of thing. So we're a community station and we need your help just like you need ours.
Don't forget to mention bingo, which we're all listening to.
Oh, the bingo, yes, thank you very much. That's where we have done very well with bingo during COVID times.
Yeah.
We doubled our cards. Our cards are averaging over 100 cards per week for bingo. And prior to that, we were maybe, if we had a good week, it was 60. And in the winter with COVID, we were well up in the 150 cards. And we're reaching out farther on that now as much as we can too. So, and we've got more staff now. We just hired on another young gal from the community that's been doing the hockey games for us. And we're going to hire her to do more for us in that regard. And so, yeah, we're doing well. Any comment?
Dave is being too humble. Under Dave's leadership as chairman of NACTV, we have gone from $25,000 debt to all the debts being paid off, and all the money in the bank, and a profit every year for the last 3 or 4 years. And it's bingo, yes, community canvas somewhat, but the broadcast rights, Canadian Broadcast Right Agency royalties, because we're on Bell Expressview 592, which is around 500,000 viewers, and we're on Westband Communications Group, and we're also online. We don't get royalties for online.
And MTS.
Yeah, MTS 1030, and Bell 592, and WCG 117. We have our own separate channel on Westband now. It's not shared with other communities. So that's, Dave has provided a lot of leadership and focus to the board. Some people give me some credit for it, but Dave keeps me in line and focused.
I have a large whip.
Yeah, Ryland Friesen, work at Prairie Lions Church. Nothing against large whips, but I don't have one. I haven't thought of trying it, but probably shouldn't. Anyways, yeah, we're a church in the community. We kind of have a variety of ages, anywhere from kind of anywhere on the spectrum, but we've got a lot of young families, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to tell too much about us. Our service times are 11. We run stuff for kids and for adults, of course. Yeah, sometimes this year or next, on this year and next year, we want to do either like a free swim or a pool event, probably one of each, but we haven't figured out when or what, and we need to talk to the community. But my main reason of just coming here is to find out all of the stuff you guys are doing, because we don't want to just like run a bunch of our own stuff and do that when we can just be supporting the community and working together on those things. And so, yeah, I can't promise we can do everything, but if there's places you guys could use volunteers or help for this or that, yeah, I'd love to hear about it and we can see what we can do. Because, yeah, it's just lots of great things happening, so I'm excited about that. So that's essentially it.
The Horse Society's kind of neck and neck with Kin Club. They're, as far as members are concerned, we're less than 10. So, and fewer and fewer have gardens. So we're kind of struggling a little bit. But we hope to get back to our monthly meetings now. We usually meet in the back of the library. So we do take advantage of that space. We have speakers when we can, or plan activities between us. And in summertime, we usually meet in members' gardens just to enjoy the outdoor space and whatever, just see what everybody's doing. We didn't have the flower show during COVID, and I think we've kind of decided that we're not going to this year as well. There's lots of positive things that happen with our flower show, but it's become harder and harder, and it just getting people, you know, we put all that work into the displays, and then the attendance of the public has really nosedived, and so we're just questioning how valid that is for us anymore. We look after the Roxy, the flower bed beside the Roxy, and we have a plant sale in end of May, usually before the long weekend, but I'm pretty sure if the snow is gone, it might be the end of June. We've been fortunate in that we've been asked to dig up certain flower beds and you know, whether it's public spaces or like, for instance, a couple years ago, we dug up the bed by the Kin Court where it was going to get demolished, and we rescued all of those plants, and that was really what constituted our plant sale that year, which was really good. We've got a couple others. I have big stock of a couple gardens that we rescued plants from last year. So they're sitting in my yard, and that's going to be what our flower sale is going to be this year, and so probably out at my place just because of space and not having to transport.
Our next meeting is May the 9th. If anybody wants to.
That's right.
We're going to Glenda's and bring your garden gloves.
Yeah.
I keep with you to work.
You want me to speak, please? I'm here on behalf of Nicola Tourism, and Nicola Tourism is critical for this community and the surrounding community. One of the things that we really struggle with is getting information as to what's going on in the community. Unless we go into every individual organization Facebook page, we just don't know. So I think what would be really helpful is if people sent a message, or organizations sent a message to Nicola Tourism with what's going on. We would ensure that our Facebook planner, which is Devlin Selva, or Salta, she would come out to your event and actually do a live video if she's available on that day, and put that on Nicola Tourism, or even do an interview, or if you have any sort of ads, if you could send it to her, she would put that on Nicola Tourism. We do get a lot of hits, so it is beneficial for the community to do that. I was kind of hoping from this meeting that we would be able to put all those events that everyone's talked about so far onto a flip chart or some sort of sheet so that it'll all be in one place and we can all take it home. I'm not very good with shorthand. But insofar as Nicola Tourism, what do we have going on? We were supposed to have our antiques market this weekend on Saturday, but that's been delayed because of the way the weather has been. So it's now going to be on Saturday, May the 7th at the Yellowhead Center, and that runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if anybody is interested in volunteering for that, there are some areas where we could use some help. And Darren Cameron is the one that's really leading on that. So if you're able to make contact with him, and if anyone needs his cell number, I can give that to you. Nicole had mentioned that May 27th to the 29th is a chamber fair, and there's a lot of events going on. I noticed that there's an old time dance going on at the Legion. So if there are people like a quilting group or something that wants to put on a display, please let Nicola Chamber know before next week so that they could put that into their events brochure. 5,000 brochures, I think, are made up, and they are distributed all over the area. So it's really good advertising, and it's a way of bringing people into the community. So they'll have fair rides and I think softball games going on. And Saturday night, I believe they're planning a social, which has been a big hit. Anyway, posters will be out soon. On June the 9th, Nicola Tourism is hosting a workshop, 2 workshops, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. The workshops in the past have been open to all employers and their employees. These workshops are more designed for the managers, supervisors, those at the upper level. And so the morning workshop is going to be how to handle toxic behavior. And then the afternoon workshop is motivating and giving effective feedback. So these workshops are being led by MTech, which is Manitoba Training Education Council. And so we have a facilitator that comes in from Winnipeg, and she's really, really good. And so if you are a manager or a supervisor, you'll see posters coming up very soon. We're still kind of ironing out the bits and pieces, but that'll be coming out soon. On June 11th, Nicola Tourism is doing a reveal event, and so the high school has been, the art teacher, Katie, has been working with her art class, and they've been creating mural. They've been working on a mural project, and so this reveal, which is on June 11th, will be here at Arts Forward, and what they'll be doing is showing the reveal of what the class has been doing this past year. And then, I'm not sure, is there an auction as to where they're going to put this? It's going to be an outside mural, and I think businesses will be able to indicate if they want it up along their building or what the case will be. But that's on June 11th, so there'll be posters and notices going out to the schools soon. On July 22nd and 23rd, Nicola Tourism, along with the Lily Nook. The Lily Nook is holding their Lily Days, I believe, that weekend. We're also hosting the Riverbend Market, which was a huge success last year. And we had wonderful weather, and we're praying for good weather again this year. But I believe, if I'm correct, we have about 46 vendors that are coming out to it, so we've had a really good response. And I believe Arts Forward is going to be hosting a farmer's market here.
We're gonna have a farmer's market in the morning, but we've also got artists that will be setting up in here. Gwen Barilla and Shannon Desjardins will have their exhibit in the gallery. And we will have a couple of other artists set up in here, and we will be combining a tour with Farmery, us, and then having it end up down at the Riverbend Market.
Yeah. So we've got that happening, and that same weekend, again, July 22nd, 23rd, Frozen Fire Studios is also putting together Rock in the Riverbend. So they'll have music during the Riverbend Market on the Friday evening. It'll be more laid back kind of music. And then there'll be quite a concert on Saturday evening, and they'll be selling tickets for that as well. So there'll be posters and more information on that as we get closer to the date as well. Did I miss anything?
Speak to the power of Nicola Tourism, because I had 450 kids at my Halloween display this year.
Only
Only 400.
You should just run everything if you get that many.
It was a very good day at the Christian house. Next time, maybe you might want to bring me some more candy.
Need donation?
Seriously, it was panic at the last half an hour, but we did it.
You're giving away your milk and your fridge.
That's right. Well, you know, we have some really good stories to go with the stuff we came up with. Anyway, another time. But anyway, so the power of Newport tourism does impact the community significantly.
So at the beginning, when we introduced ourselves, I said I was part of Kaleidoscope, but I have actually two different kind of agendas that I came for tonight. Deborah and I are co-chairing the volunteers for the Viterra Men's Curling, which is in February. So it's 32 teams that compete to represent Manitoba at the national level. So we probably will attend some of these events that you've all listed with a little sign-up sheet to collect volunteer names. So that's just one of the things. And then the second one I never really thought of, but I should have, and then when I listened to Brenda, I thought of it. So our school has a youth advisory council, which is under the umbrella of Brenda, and we're allowed grant money every year, like they tell us the amount. This year we have 16 kids from grade 10 to 12 that are part of it, and we'll be awarding $3,100 in grants. So last year we had $3,000, and we gave grant money to the CAT TNR Rescue for some adoption kits, to Country Meadows to buy chairs for their outdoor visits, to the Margaret Lawrence Home to fix the roof, to the Men's Shed to build 30 lockers at Buds and Bean Daycare, to the Salvation Army for a laminator, to Touchwood Park for sports equipment for their brand new facility, and to the Breakfast Club to purchase equipment for drills in their program. So anyway, what we do is we get the spreadsheet from Brenda, and the kids themselves pick groups that they think they would be interested in giving grant money to. They send out an application form. The not-for-profit groups fill out the form, the kids go through them all, and then they pick and vote on who they'd like to award money to, which is directly related to almost all of you that are sitting here, which I never thought of until Brenda's
I think you were going to think that.
Like 16 kids prior to Christmas went to the Salvation Army and helped pack all the toy hampers, so that was the first thing they did. We try to do a couple of things, because we never know how much grant money we're getting till about this time of year. So anyway, the letters are getting sent out next week, I believe, at our meeting on Tuesday. So
And
anyway,
the most that they can give out in a grant is $500.
that's correct, yeah, there's a cap. So we'll give a minimum of 7 again this year, but we can give lesser amounts and pick more people if we, not people, but more groups if we want to.
And it's really amazing to listen to the kids and how they make the decisions. It's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
It is.
That's probably one of our most favorite projects, when the kids come and report about how they make those decisions. Because they feel what we feel every time we do a grant application process.
And they came up with, like, they come up with some ideas of their own. They never had Breakfast Club on the list until last year. And it was just 2 brand new little grade 10 boys that used to be part of it, that went to it for like 5 years growing up, and they're like, what about them? So they initiated the contact with Glenn and Cameron, and he filled out the paperwork, and the rest is history, so it's kind of good.
Well, I'm just here because I've run in with Eddie a few times. I've come and looked at the artwork, and then we start talking, and then all these great ideas come about. And so I'm just here because what I figure, I can't keep track of anything that goes on in this town. I can't. So that's where I'm sure I'm not the only one. There's always, and I've always found that since I moved here, there's lots of user groups, lots of things going on. Yes, Facebook is great. Yes, the paper is great. Yes, but how do you, like you just said one date, and then I'm going, wait a sec, Margaret Lawrence has this. So there needs to be some kind of getting together, because as we know, our volunteer base is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Not that we can't
maybe that'll be a good thing too, is get other people involved. But it's just, I'm just trying to figure out what's an easy way to make it more efficient of what we're doing.
We've talked about just even the idea of, everybody's looking for volunteers, right? Is there a possibility of a universal volunteer list? Because the volunteer list, like, when I came in, sadly, the volunteer list, half of those people aren't even here anymore, right? So it's to update it and see what other organizations have, and maybe there's a possibility of, like, hey, if Amanda's doing something, I've got people that I know would like to come, but Amanda wouldn't know otherwise, right? Or, with Kaleidoscope or anything. So that was one of the discussions we had, was the possibility of like.
Right, like when I volunteered at the Christmas craft sale, people were coming up to me, how did you find out about us? Who called you? How did you know how to do it? And I'm like, well, they just know me and they just called me. But they like, you'd have people asked me that day and said, how can I get on a list? I'm like, I don't know the list. So that was just kind of what spurred it on with Yvonne when we talked after.
Dave, doesn't this sound like an old job you had?
Me?
Community coordinator?
I've
You're
had,
the community coordinator?
yeah, I've had lots of old jobs.
I'm showing my age when I could start
That was
telling.
about 20 years ago.
Telling you. This sounds like
So that's just a reason, just to make it more efficient, so not everyone's getting burnout.
Yeah.
And utilizing someone like me, I don't wanna run anything, but call me and I can do whatever.
Well, and there's the Roxy volunteer list too, that's a huge list and they're always struggling.
Right, yeah.
So I work out at High Lake, I'm the office manager there, and I'm kind of the liaison with High Lake for the community. I process any donation requests all come through me. So they kind of pride themselves on being a community partner. So it's just good to hear what's going on in the community, and if there's anything that High Lake can be part of, whether it's participating, monetary donation, that sort of thing. We do have a food truck now. I don't know how many people are aware of that. So it goes all over Manitoba, Saskatchewan, the States, country fairs, community fairs. It will be at the Chamber Fair at the end of May. So we have different options that we can do. So it's just figuring out. It's obviously a busy schedule because High Lake is very large. We have lots of company events that happen, but we do like to participate as much as we can. So another new thing, so if anyone has, feel free to reach out. We will do our best to do what we can. And another thing that is new is we've undergone some huge renovations out at the plant, and part of that was a lounge that we now have. So we have our own chef, JP, and main priority during this kind of season from probably April to September-ish is hosting customers and visitors. So that was kind of on hold for COVID, but now that that's lessened, we have lots of our Japanese customers mostly that come to Nicola, and we host in the lounge. But it's just started, so we're kind of working out the kinks. But the plan is for you guys to know, in winter months when we're not busy with customers, is we would like to open up 2 community partners. So if the chamber would like to host their meeting in our lounge, JP would be there. We would prepare appies, that sort of things, and we could host it. So again, that would be just something that if you're interested in, probably closer to the fall, just reach out, and then we would love to be able to work with you guys and host some of those meetings. Just to find out information. That's it.
I guess we just, at the end of March, finished our somewhat normal hockey season. And after 2 years, the hall is being used again, which is awesome. So we're back with socials, weddings in the summertime are coming up, and any other events. And our arena is actually being booked quite a bit during the summertime with the book sale, and we actually have a circus coming May 14th, the Great Benjamin Circus. It's more an acrobatic and like clowns and jugglers and all that. So the shows are at 4 and 7, I believe, and it's a great family event. And then we'll start off our hockey season again, and lots of weddings and socials coming up, and booking into next year already. And I guess our biggest event this year is the Nicola Curling Club and the Yellowhead are hosting the 2023 Curling Provincials, so if anyone wants to volunteer for that, that would be great. But
What's that date again?
February 7th to 14th, so it's Tuesday to Sunday. But other than that, I don't really have much to say.
Probably not a good time to book something else.
Yeah.
But that's great, because I had no idea, so that's awesome
Yeah.
to know that. Okay, this is awesome.
Brad just got.
Brad walked in and Winona got it.
Oh.
What about?
Do you want it?
Which one?
I'm sorry about that. Getting out of the cattle business is not nearly as easy as I had to go for a little meeting. Anyhow, when I didn't mean any disrespect. When I left, it was on a perfect note, but I had to go. And, because Dave was talking about the photography end of things, and we're planning on starting up a photography club here in town, hopefully, because there was some interest, but nobody wanted to take the lead.
Yes.
And my mentor has told me that I have to learn it, so it's like I've been instructed to take the lead. Maybe that's the best way to do service work, I don't know. And I kind of need to learn myself, so I'm hoping it can draw some attention and get people to, like for all ages, right, to explore their creativity, because everybody's got a camera nowadays. Everybody's taking pictures. Well, let's take the best pictures you can. And as you were all talking before I left, I was just brainstorming. My big brain was going, oh, we could take pictures of this event, we could take pictures of that event, or whatever, right? Or the garden, right, with macro shots of the beautiful flowers and stuff. And yeah, so
Yeah, the
tomorrow night,
photography club is tomorrow at 7:30.
at 7:30, yes, I know.
Okay, just so you know about that change of time.
And it's a good thing I didn't tell a whole lot of people verbally what time it was. There's just a couple that I have to straighten out on that one. Here, and I think there's something else going on in this room, so we gotta kind of go through.
No, you guys will be in here, we're gonna close the door.
Oh,
That's what we're gonna do.
you didn't tell me that either.
Yes, no, I haven't had a chance to talk to you.
See where the communication breakdown starts? Right at the top. Okay, anyhow, let me take that, and like I'm hoping, like there's gonna be kids there too, okay? So, and kind of a personal note, I got a little creativity club thing going on out at my place on Saturdays, and we've drawn a little bit of attention with that, and it's pretty sweet, you know, the energy that we got going. I'd like to kind of be able to get something like that going with the youth and adults and everybody. And someone else was talking about drawing mentors, people that already know photography. Like that's what I'm kind of looking for also, is getting people that really know their stuff to come in and give back a little bit to some of the people. And it's not about high-end, lots of expensive equipment and stuff like that. It's let's just make the best pictures we can with what we've got and learn. Okay, I'll take that hat off, put the men's shed hat on. I didn't know anybody else would be here for that, so I'm kind of maybe the second or third contact for that. But when you mentioned about the labor force, I guess the Men's Shed Club, sometimes we feel as though we are expected to be kind of a labor force, and most of us are kind of over it a little bit. Got this ache and this pain, and you know, I don't want to do that. And
it's about the coffee, right?
Pardon me?
It's about the coffee. That's what they told us last time.
I don't drink coffee, so like, but it's really about the social activity of the guys getting together is the whole point. Now the added bonus is we get to do projects that help the community out. And in fact, we get kind of tickled about that if we can do something, not necessarily that grabs us lots of attention, but that does the most good, right? And may I talk about the town project?
Yeah.
One we just completed, did they deliver it to you yet?
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, okay. And I think you're getting yours, they forgot it out of my shop, the one for the bird sanctuary?
I'm not there.
Oh. The bird sanctuary people?
No.
Oh, okay, well, we did one for them, and you're getting the other 18.
Yeah.
I think that's how that's working.
Yeah, they're like above and beyond what we ever could.
Yeah, so, and this has to do with literacy. We made display boxes for the flats.
Yeah.
That's where they're going.
Yeah, a storybook trail. So it's essentially, you start at one, read pages. Debbie is supplying the books from the library. And you basically go, you read a story, and then it tells you like a physical activity or something to get to the next sign. So it keeps the little young ones engaged, and then you read the next, and then you keep going, and you walk all the way around the loop, and you get some exercise and read a book as a family. So they developed all 18 of the signs and made them out of wood, and you can open them, and they're waterproof, they're so nice.
Do you mind talking about what the projected budget was for the cost of where you were looking and how much it did cost?
Oh, yeah, anything that I looked at was probably sourced from the States, and it was upwards of $16,000 to $25,000 to get 18 of them shipped and here. And I think I got a grant through Assiniboine North Parent Child Care Coalition for $1,300. And I think in the end, it costed about $1,500 for them to do all of the 18 signs.
The other guys did most of the work on this project. We kind of butted heads on it. I did the metal work and they did the
metal ones were nice
They did
too.
the woodworking, get that. It's not me.
No, it looks really good. Like you guys will see them, and they're like,
Yeah.
you would think that a company made them, or like they're really great.
And we're really proud of our Christmas ornament thing. It's happened 2 years in a row. And, like, I'm not sure if it's going to happen a third. And one that didn't hit the paper in a timely fashion was the Santa mailbox, right? It hit the paper, but it was, you know, I get it. There's only a limited space. I just had to throw a shot at it. But the kids need to know before Christmas so they can get their letters into Santa, not after.
What was the Christmas ornament thing?
So the Christmas ornaments, the guys made these wonderful little
They were
trees. They were
beautiful.
fantastic for our hugs for the holidays.
Oh,
And so
I like
every
to
one of the
see that.
seniors got these great little trees with the little ornaments.
Yeah, in year one, we had people at,
Country Meadows. Or no?
yeah, Country Meadows was doing them too, and Touchwood were painting them up, right? Like, so everybody had a hand in it, and I think there was some of the girls groups,
Yeah, the
girls clubs
Fit
were doing
Club,
this year.
that runs, I'm not sure which night, I think it might be a Tuesday night. Yeah, and they did the painting for us for those as well.
So projects like that are kind of what we're about. If you want to approach us, and they did the planters, right?
Yes, you guys built our, that was one of your first projects, was our planters.
Yeah, and they're making lots of, the rest of the guys like doing that stuff, I don't like that stuff.
So our field to table club.
And they also painted our.
Boxes, they're building all of our card boxes and donating everything, so.
Yeah, like we get, we're actually fairly well funded right now, and we're kind of looking.
Don't say that.
It's really hard to give them money actually as an organization and be like, thank you, and they're like, no, thank you, and they walk away, so.
But it's like, the purpose is being fulfilled, the guys are getting together and they're doing what they can. And the most important part is that it serves the community.
Do you guys have a regular meeting time right now?
No, not really. We meet at, sometimes we meet in a restaurant, and sometimes we meet at the Covenant Church.
Okay.
There in the basement, we have like an agreement with them. So we have like ad hoc meetings when something comes up, right? And I'm not sure if I want to give my number as a contact. I was gonna put Colin down here.
Yes,
Colin.
Okay, so Colin is the True Blue contact. And then we're kind of seasonal, like I think the guys don't like working very much in the summer. And once winter hits, a few take off for where it is warm, but you know, we usually in the wintertime in the workshop kind of thing. But it wasn't intended to be a workshop deal. It was just about the getting together and doing projects. As far as there's some members that just want to play cards, right? They can get together. So.
But everybody on your way out, you need to stop in our little artisan space, because if you want to see how talented Brad is, he's got India ink in there, and then he also did his Billy Jack, which he did with scroll saw on, what is it, it's on 8s.
8-inch wallpaper plywood.
Yes, but you have to see it, it's just amazing. So.
Just for the record, I did not give my own plug.
I did, because
But it's all for sale. All for sale, right, Brad?
Yeah, they're all for sale.
They're all for sale.
You can't afford any of them.
No, I can't. Fortunately, I got one for free, thank you, Brad.
Yes, if we can.
I don't have that much interesting to say. I'm with the museum. Of course, the better contact would be Helen Drysdale, of course. But I decided to come here and see what was happening. We will have our grand reopening coming up, but we don't have an exact date yet because it kind of hinges on how things work with, we're redoing rooms. We were very fortunate to get a grant for new LED lighting, which is really exciting because you can see more stuff in our museum now. It'll depend on our summer student and how things go with trying to get everything together because like Margaret Road's home, we've been closed for 2 years. We do have a larger entrance area now. We can have meetings and gatherings and stuff like that, which we're really excited about. We're supposed to be putting up a building this year as well, a garage for fire truck, but we will announce everything as we can. We were very well supported by the paper announcing our website because we have not been in contact with the community. So it was our way of trying to put things together too, and we'll probably build a page where we can support the rest of the community as well and try and link everything together as best we can. I'm not sure what else to say.
So, okay, that is awesome. There's a ton of stuff going on in town.
For the record, I'd like to give Ken a plug for the paper because that shit, he's been very good.
Wait, for Kaleidoscope, I want to give Ken a plug.
Just a comment, people were saying that trying to write down all the dates and that, well, I've got them all right here.
Yeah, how do we get it from you?
Well, very easy, we can put that up on the private YouTube channel and send you the link.
Well,
If you
what
all-
I'm hoping, and this is what we're wanting to come out of this, instead of a community calendar per se, the old school calendar, in a conversation with Lisa, actually, we were talking about what can we do? What can we do to move things forward and make it easy? We still have to have that main spot that is taking in the information, but from there, instead of a community calendar, Lisa said, why not have a QR code? Well, yeah. If you look at all different sorts of things now, and there's QR codes, and everybody has a cell phone. You don't need a QR code scanner. You just need a camera on your cell phone. And the discussion then led to talking with Nicole and with Marilyn, with tourism, and just what can we do? And if we have those QR codes anywhere in town, you don't have to sit there and, oh, I wonder what we should scan it, click on it, there'll be a Google Docs attachment to it, which will have all of the upcoming events on it. And if you have an event on there, then we'll ensure that all of your contact information is at the bottom of the Google Doc too. So you've got addresses, you've got websites. That's where my head is going with it, and this is a round table, so it's open to feedback, but I think we need to move forward instead of trying to do what hasn't worked for 25 years. And if we can get, and I do think Nicola Tourism plays big time into this, and I had said that to Marilyn too, like I think there's a big part of this that Nicola Tourism has in it. But if everybody can email their information in, it's not gonna be for, and I'm saying to Arts Forward, it's not gonna be for me to search you out and figure out what you're doing. It's, if you want it in, you've gotta get it emailed in, and then we'll put it on that Google Doc and we'll attach it to that QR code.
Is there any way that we could have like a place that people could just log into and then just put in their own stuff? Dump it in themselves?
Well,
So
yeah, you can
eliminate-
easily make like a Google Doc and have like the form where they literally just fill it out and submit.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So like.
I
other-
suggest that, it's a good suggestion, I think that maybe we should not throw the baby out with the bathwater though. In the modern world, computer age and everything, let's not forget about the paper and make sure that the list gets in the paper.
Yes,
There's so many
absolutely.
people here that still depend on the paper.
Or the QR code goes in the paper.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've got a cute.
yeah, well, I know people who wouldn't know what a QR code is.
Well, yeah.
My age, they're not interested in knowing. They're thinking that
That's how you can go to a restaurant and order food with
so Amanda's got it just on there.
So, yeah, so if you wanna register for a challenge, you just hit you just scan the QR code and it brings up our form. And then you just enter it in, which, I don't know, MS Forms thinks I'm fishing for illegal scams here, but other than that, if you have problems with it, give me a shout. But yeah, Google Docs is great, you know, it can really link to anything, but we almost need two, right? One that as an organization,
For sure.
we can dump in, and then as, like, I almost see what's happening in Nicola, Decal or something that you can put on,
The business.
right, on businesses
on the
or
storefront, so
on
even if you're
storefronts.
walking downtown on a Sunday, you're not from here.
Yeah.
You can go, oh,
Check out
let's
what's
check out the, whatever.
And then you get the community calendar,
Right.
or
Yes.
whatever's happening that day or
Yes.
something, yeah, yeah. Simple is best.
Well, and that's exactly, is
Sorry, no, go ahead.
And you talk about old school, yes, the old school will go on the paper, they will find their way, we need the younger people and the people that don't have the time to go through everything, to just do the QR code, that's how we do things now. The older generation, they'll do the old way and it'll be there too.
well, I don't know anybody that's coming here, doesn't matter what age, that hasn't had a cell phone. That's all you need is a cell phone.
Yeah, but the thing is,
So,
tell you what to do with it.
all you do is literally,
That's
you just
another
go to your
website.
camera.
Yeah, well, that'd be a session, that'd be a session.
Exactly. Brendan?
But I actually have I wanna take it a little bit farther, Winnipeg actually has a What's Up event app. And maybe we have smart enough young people that we could develop a What's Up Nicola app, could we not, for our phones?
Oh, yeah, great.
And then we could all just post it. We have smart kids in our community, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So why can't we build an app for a Nicola calendar?
Well, they probably got it from somewhere too in Winnipeg, they
And
probably
then
developed it.
instead of, you can put your CR codes and everything, but it'd be compiled into a calendar-like
Yes.
list, right?
Yeah, we're automatically populate and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can upload our own things to the app.
The bottom line is still, groups have to.
Have to
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
So-
that is
so
exactly it.
It has to be simple and it has to be
Yes.
one stop,
Yeah.
right? Just one place, whether it's Arts Forward or whether it's Nicola Tourism, there's one place that every group knows. You send your event there, and if you wanna check when you're planning an event, you know to go there to check. One of the things we do as a committee is sort of, we're small, and so when we're planning dates, when we know there are things going on, we say, is that a date where we can complement what's going on or piggyback on traffic? Or do we want to be as separate from that as we can? And just sort of be the only thing going on, right? So having access to all the dates as an organization is important. But then also just gives the one central.
So could you
Place.
run meetings twice a year like this, so that people kind of have a deadline in mind for upcoming things that are coming? Like, is it busier now until September? You know, so should we have a meeting in February and everybody's like, oh yeah, we should do. Like, is there deadlines to certain how things kind of run?
Well, I think it's
Different
definitely
groups.
seasonal.
Yeah, there's
Right.
seasonal stuff for sure, and that's how it'd be now till September.
And the meeting's great, but the idea is to
Yes.
have that
To
place.
come out of it. But if we can end up, like if we can have it where people can put the information straight in, then there doesn't actually have to, there has to be somebody monitoring that, right? But not monitoring it, but you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like just overseeing.
Yeah, if you have
Is there-
technical issues or something like that, hey, this isn't working, who do you
Yeah, right.
contact, who do you